Welcome to my channel. Today I'm gonna make this beautiful earrings. I know I will tell you guys the process exactly what I want to make, like how I want to make all of these components, but I already made these components and I'll show you guys in detail what it is. So couple of things is needed for this project. I have an 18 gauge wire, 20 gauge wire and 26 gauge wire, three different wires size, and I have used brass for the 18 because I had the brass and I thought that will look well with the red, but I didn't have the brass in 20 gauge, so I mixed metal with this, which I really like it. Instead of being one color, I like this little bit of gold in the middle, which adds a nice contrast to my design is what I feel. So I had this beautiful kind of a teardrop bead, but they are flat. These are check glass, and it's the hole is in the middle of the bead, middle of the teardrop, not across, not through, in the middle. So I wanted to highlight this bead, and I had this neon green. I was a little bit um, daring, I would say. I never used such a combination, but I thought the soft red would go with the neon green. So I made I cut about say a 4-inch piece of wire, 18 gauge wire, and then I made this frame. And then I hammered this frame. I made this ear wire also with the brass 18 gauge wire. I know ear wires we normally do it in 20 gauge, but in this I wanted the same color as my frame, so I went with an 18 gauge wire. And then I made also this I believe this is a 6 millimeter, maybe not 7, jump ring with the 18 gauge as well, because I want that to be thick and then in the same metal. Then I made this figure 8 links, which I have gone through in multiple of my videos before, in a 20 gauge gold color wire, and these are para wire, both of them. And then I used a 26 gauge wire in this red color, the same red color as this, to wrap this with this neon green beads. So now what we need to do is, so I have a lot of tools here. So I have this 26 gauge wire. It's a floral wire. It is 26 gauge, doesn't matter, we can use it. So here it is. I got this from Dollar Tree actually. So it's just $1.25. I'm straightening the wire. 26 gauge wire is very forgiving. I'm straightening the wire and with my fingers. You don't need the nylon jaw pliers for this purpose, and I have 4 of these beads which I'm gonna load it to my wire. And I'm not cutting the wire because I don't know how much I will use it, so I want to have ample amount. So I'm threading the beads first into the wire, then start wrapping from here. Then once I finish it, I will cut it off. So about, say, since I made this, I want to make the same here. So take about, say, just that much, and then about say an inch or so of the wire, and start putting it attaching it to the frame by wrapping it together and cinching the wraps with your fingers. It's pretty, you should be pretty consistent, because what happens is this is a thin wire and the frame is already, that's why you need to hammer the frame so that it doesn't lose shape, because when you push and pull and doing the wire wrapping, there is high chance it might distort the shape of the frame. So I wouldn't recommend a 20 gauge. 18 gauge is the best one to do so, because I did with the 20 gauge and it was very wobbly. So here we go. This is how I attach the wire to the frame, the 26 gauge wire to the 18 gauge frame. you can just, if the wire is small and you feel difficult to wrap, use your tweezer nose or needle nose pliers for that. And just tuck that in. Okay, about say a 10 wrap would be good. And then now check for the height, so where you want the wrap to be. So it's way above, so I want it to go below, just like that. And then I'm going to check again, just a little bit more. Just a tad bit. Yeah, that should be a good one. So now we have that. So about say the wraps are also consistent, as you guys can see. So now bring the bead down. So what I do is I keep the bead on the top of the wire rather than putting it down. And then what I do is I wrap the bead. See, I'm holding the bead on top of the frame and I'm going to wrap the bead, so that gives a nice definition around the bead. Once I finish the wrap, then I'm going to do the wrap one more time. Okay, 2 times, right? And then I'm going to start the wrapping again. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Cinch with your nails. I'm not cinching it with the pliers because this is a colored wire, so the color will come off. So here we go again. Check this, see if you have enough wraps. You can check it this way, which I think I do. I can do one more here and there is good. It's fine, doesn't affect the process that much. So now you have this. Then take the next bead. You can do as many beads as you want, and you can completely wire wrap the frame if you want, but I really like the look of the brass, so I want that to show as well. So having the spool kind of helps you with the amount of wire that you need to have. Again, keep it on top, and then I'm gonna frame that bead. With the wire twice. Okay, you can adjust the bead to the side and however you want it, and then again we will have to wrap, but now just make sure it's nice and cinched and the bead sits on top, and your next wrap is nice and tight. That's 3, 4, 5, cinch and then continue. You can do it like this. Be very careful not to remove the coating of the wire. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. One more. Right. Turn it to the back so you will have a clear way. See, you can take the color off easily with this. So now the next bead, then wrap it around. Just hold the bead on top of the frame and wrap once and twice. Okay, place it properly. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So kind of move everything in place. I mean, we don't want this to be, want it to be exactly the same. See, this one is a little bit in the side, so just move it. Cinch these things nicely. Now take the last bead down. Again, keep it on top of the frame, and actually we can do it this way. And then wrap it. The final wrap, again, like 10 to 11 wraps is fine. When you wrap it and cinch it, and then you can cut it off. See, I'm working with the spools, so I don't have to worry about how much wire I need. But if you want to cut it and work, and that's what you prefer, then you can do about, say, 2 feet. And that's about, say, right. Bring it in the back. use your wire cutters to cut off the excess wire and then tuck that in. Now see this, you just need to position the bead on top. Look, and then cinch this down. There we go. So that part is done. We also need to wire wrap this bead. So take about, say, I would say 6 to 8 inches. 6 inches is good enough, not more than that. Take this bead. Because it's thin wire, if you are using 24 gauge wire, I wouldn't do that. This is 26, so I'm just about, say, in the middle or so. You can do that. Take your round nose pliers, keep it on top of this, bend it to 90 degrees, both the wire together, reposition your pliers and make a loop. It's a wrapped loop, so you just bring it down and then wrap. You don't have to do a lot of wraps, that's enough. And then you can snip off the excess wire. Tuck it in, and this bead is ready to go. So now we are going to assemble this. So we are going to take 2 sets of pliers. Let me find my bent nose pliers, which seems to have here. So take the jump ring, open and close so that it's nicely shut. Open it up. Okay, and then also this figure 8 link, open that up and add it to your earring finding. Open the other one up, add it to the other side. Okay, now take the jump ring, add one of these figure 8 links first, and then your drop bead, and then the figure 8 link in this. Okay, and then your ear wire as well. And now hold this with your bent nose pliers, and you need twist nose pliers. Go back and forth and close the jump ring shut really nicely, and that's how we make this earring. So such a pretty design, and it's simple, it's not a lot of wire working, and I'll show you guys exactly how we make the components with the wire. I hope you like this tutorial. If you do, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, don't forget to hit the bell icon for notification. I do upload videos couple of times a week. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye bye. See you in the next video. Hi friends, welcome to my channel. This is a fun jewelry making collab hosted by Dahlia Designs, and for this month August there is 3 challenges. So every month on the 18th of every month, the channels who participate in this fun jewelry making collab, we come together and then we present the jewelry that we were supposed to make, and there is couple of challenges. There is one challenge for the color and there is 2 optional challenges. So for the month of August, it's crimson red, mulberry purple, magenta hot pink, and then yellow green, meadow lake yellow green, artichoke dark green, and stuff like that. And then we can the optional challenge 2 is to have use neon brights in your pieces. So I came up with one earrings. I know it's a very small project, but this is what I came up with. And I wanted to make a necklace, but it was too late. So already my video is a little bit late. So here we have here I have my piece. This is what I made. I used the crimson red, okay, and I chose the green neon color to use in this challenge, in this earrings. So I used a couple of metals here, brass and brass color and gold. I used para wire for that. I used 18 gauge wire for the frame and for the ear wire and for the jump ring. And I have some figure 8 links on the side of the earrings, which I used 20 gauge, and then I used a metallic red color 26 gauge wire for the wire wrapping purposes. I use the colored wire so the neon will look good on that. So this is what I came up with. It really looks nice in person than in camera, is what I would say. And this teardrop kind of a pendant, I hammered them after I made this. I hammered the 18 gauge frame. I made 2 loops, and then I also wire wrapped this teardrop bead, which has a weird center hole to it, with a 26 gauge, and then I added everything to a jump ring and then connected it to the ear wire. I wanted the ear wire to match the frame, that's why I used an 18 gauge, because I didn't have a 20 gauge brass ear wire to this. These are 4mm drug beads and that I added, and it's not suspended down, it's on top of it, and I wire wrap twice every bead. So that's a different one from the normal bead wire wrapping that I have done so far in my channel. So that's a new thing that I have attempted, and I really like how it turned out to be. So this is what I came up with. You can do anything you want with in terms of the frame. You can do a round frame, you can do a oval frame, or even a pointed teardrop frame. You can do that, and you can suspend beads and make this so I did hammer a little bit of the ear wire and the jump rings as well, just to make it strong, and the figure 8 link. So it's really nice and sturdy, and I think I really liked how the way it turned out to be. It's a pretty earring, and then you can actually do multiple variations here. You don't have to have the teardrop here, and if you don't have the teardrop, this is how it will look. And it also looks really good without the teardrop as well, but the teardrop crimson color bead makes it look fuller, like the design to be full, is what I feel. So I didn't use any gemstone this time, but I just got back from vacation, and then it was chaos, so I couldn't. There's a lot of things going on. My elder daughter is going to college, so she's moving in tomorrow, so I had a pretty packed week, I guess. So it's all being said, and this is the only piece I made for this month's challenge. Next month I'm hoping to make more. There is another necklace that's been under the making that I want to show you guys, but I didn't finish it fully. Is this pretty ones that I'm making it for, and it also matches the challenge. It has the green, and then it has some purple here, this ceramic bead, some tulip, and the dark green, and stuff like that. It's a sea theme, but greenish theme, I would say. And lemon green, kind of a very fresh green kind of a tulip beads also in there. So I didn't finish the necklace, but I'm planning to do so. So I hope you guys like my piece for this month's challenge. Hope to see you guys next month as well. I will leave down the description box below the link for all the people who are participating in this fun jewelry making collab. This jewelry making collab is hosted by Dahlia Designs and Debbie, and I will leave down the description box below the link for her as well. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye bye. See you in the next video.